Hey, what's up, Arnimaniacs? My name is Arnimane, and welcome to the 82nd episode of Would You Rather. We are growing strong. God damn, we're almost at 100, and I think that's pretty amazing. But anyways, if you have any Would You Rather questions you'd like for me to answer in future episodes of Would You Rather, make sure you leave them down in the comments section below. And of course, if you missed any of the previous episodes, the link to the playlist is in the description. And before we begin, I just want to say, if you do enjoy this video, make sure you hit that like button for me. It shows your support for the channel, and it lets me know that you guys want to keep seeing Would You Rather on this channel. But anyways, without further ado, let's move on to this week's Would You Rather questions. Starting us off this week, we have to Lazy Panda, who asks, would you rather be fit but hated by everyone, or be fat but have everyone being your friend? So the thing is with this is, like, how can you be okay with living your life like hated by everyone? Like, even if you are fit, like tip-top shape, nothing wrong with you health wise, it's just the fact that everyone hating you just seems very depressing to me. Like, I think that if I went and lived my life right now, like the most sexy man alive, but everyone hates me, I honestly don't see myself being happy. Like, how could someone be happy knowing that everyone in the world hates them? You know, like, essentially you're gonna have no friends because of that. You're gonna have no girlfriends, no love life, no relationships, and it just sounds like a really meaningless life, in my opinion. And that's not something that I want in my life. You know, I don't want a meaningless life, at least, and in terms of, like, you know, me, right? Like, obviously, when I say meaningless life, I don't mean like to have a meaningful life you have to go and get a Nobel Prize or something. I'm just saying meaningful life in terms of, like, to yourself, like with your friends, your family, and stuff like that. You actually meant something to someone. You know, if everyone hates you, you're not gonna have that meaningful life. Like, you're just always gonna feel depressed and stuff like that. So, to give up all that, you know, having a meaningful life just to have a fit body, it seems stupid. It seems like a really bad idea. But on the other hand, you know, being fat, you know, comes with all kinds of health problems. I guess it really depends on the size as well. You know, are you like 400 or 500 pounds, or are you like me where you're just a bit overweight? Like, when I say a bit overweight, I mean, like, I'm not like, you know, like, you should be 150 pounds, but I'm like, you know, 180, 190 pounds. You know what I mean? That kind of overweight. But you gotta remember, like, you know, life is what you make it, right? And being able to have, you know, all these people be your friends is something that, you know, defines who you are and defines your life and your meaning. And, you know, being able to have all these friends and being able to share all sorts of experiences with all these friends is something that, to me, is, you know, what makes up like, at least a part of having a meaningful life. And that's something, like I said, that is something that I would want. So I think I'd much rather just give up the being fit and just be fat, even if it is like 500 pounds overweight. I think I would much rather take that and have, you know, all these people be my friends, or be my friend rather, over being fit and have everyone hate me. It just, like I said, it just seems kind of like really, it's stupid to have a meaningless life just so that you could be fit. But anyways, thank you for your question to Lazy Panda. Let's move on. Our next question comes in from I Am Paradise, who asks, would you rather be the most hyper kid in school or the most quiet kid in school? So I'm guessing this is like the extreme of extremes there, because you say the most hyper and the most quiet. I would say in high school, I probably was one of the most quiet kids in school. I never said very much, never like raised my hand to answer questions, never said too much to people who weren't like I was close with, you know, during lunch, recess, or whatever. And so because of that, I feel like I missed out like on a lot of like key things in high school, you know, parties and stuff like that that I never got to attend or enjoy because, you know, I was quiet, and even times where I was invited to parties, I never went, just because of that fact that, you know, I'm shy, I'm quiet, parties aren't my thing. And you know, I always hear my friends' stories telling me about, oh, you should have came, this is such a great, this happened, that happened, blah blah blah. And it kind of sucks, you know. I sit here and reflect back in high school, and there's so many opportunities that I wish I took advantage of that I didn't, because I was quiet, I was shy, and there's a lot of people, a lot of missed opportunities that I didn't have because, like I said, I didn't talk much. Who knows, maybe I would have had better relationships. Maybe I would have, found the one in high school. So, yeah, if I wasn't quiet. So I think, but when it comes down to like being most hyper kid in school, I mean, sometimes those people are obnoxious, which will then make it like, I mean, I guess it depends on how bad it really is. I mean, you have people who you have to find friends who can tolerate you and you can tolerate them, because obviously the people who you're going to be friends with are also very hyperactive, very hyper. So, but to me it just seems like it basically coming down to not having friends or having people who hate you. That's pretty much what it's going to come down to. And I think I would much rather not have friends than have people hate me. You know what I mean? Because I said that, like, yes, in the end I'm not going to have very many friends, but at least if I'm quiet, there's still a possibility of having some friends. But if you're very hyperactive, you're going to have friends that aren't very I guess easy to work with, or supportive of you, or you know what, will probably end up getting on my nerves. So and people, like I said, you're very hyperactive. There's gonna be a lot of judgmental people who will probably say things like you're on drugs, you're snorting cocaine, or whatever, this person's on crack or weed or whatever. So to me, it's just like being a really hyperactive kid has its negative downfalls, but you never know, that kind of thing could turn into some kind of popularity thing. I don't know. But to me, I think I would stick with the route that I took in high school, and just stick with being the quiet kid in school. Like it worked out to me. Like, yes, I had many missed opportunities, but I still took advantage of some opportunities, and I met some of the greatest people in high school, people who are still friends with me today. And it's like, for me to go back and change that to being a hyper kid, these friends I may have never met because I was so hyperactive. I can tell you now, if I was a super hyperactive kid back in high school, I would say 90% of my best friends today probably wouldn't talk to me. You see what I'm saying? And I don't think I would really want to trade all that in just so I could possibly find some new, different best friends that I wouldn't have today. So, yeah, I think I would much rather stick with being the most quiet kid in school. Thank you for your question, I am Paradise. Let's move on to the last one. So I went to yourather.com, something I haven't done in a while, and I just went and picked one random would you rather question. So here we go, from yourather.com. Would you rather have everything you touch turn to dust, or everything you touch turn to gold? There's a lot of things that you could like, this is one of those questions you gotta think deep about, because like, if everything you're touching turns to dust or gold, it just means like the second you put something in your mouth, it becomes dust, it becomes gold, which means you pretty much can't eat anything, which means eventually you're gonna die. So what it really comes down to is what will have the most, I guess, value after you turn it to gold, because turn it to whatever, gold or dust. And obviously dust has no value whatsoever, but gold does. So I've come to terms with the fact that I'm going to die. I mean, like, the only way I'm going to be able to survive this is if somehow there was some magical, miracle way they're able to give me the nutrients and whatever it is that my body needs to survive without having it touch me. You see what I'm saying? Because I could sit there and if I, have a milkshake, well, as I'm putting that milkshake in my mouth, it's all going to turn to, I guess, liquid gold or dust or whatever, right? So, like I said, I wouldn't be able to eat or drink, so I'm going to die. So, basically, what I'm breaking all this down to is what's going to have, I guess, more benefit in the future for either my kids or my family, my wife, whatever, or my parents. Maybe they need help with something. So, basically, what it's come down to, I'd much rather turn everything into gold. Oh, you know what the downfall is? It means I can't have sex. Oh, that's brutal. That's gonna be one long and brutal death. Hey, if I touch myself, does that mean I turn to gold or dust? I don't know. Okay, back on topic here. So basically, it just means that, like, everything I touch, I'll probably end up. I would want to turn to gold just because it has a monetary value. I could just sit there, turn a whole bunch of things to gold, and my family, friends, whatever, can take it, sell it, and at least make some money, and I'll be able to die knowing that I'm helping my friends, my family, get out of whatever situation is, or make them well off, or whatever. It's just dust has, like I said, no value to it whatsoever. I mean, like, if the only thing I could really do with dust is turn everything to dust and leave it in my will for an enemy, I guess. I don't know. Oh jeez. So I think, like I said, I think I would just much rather turn everything to gold, just so it can be sold to help support my friends and my family. Like, the only good thing I can think about for dust is turning my enemies into dust. That's about it. Which again only satisfies me, doesn't satisfy my friends, my families, and stuff like that. So, and that's a very selfish thing to do. I just have to be really, really careful not to touch any loved ones, or myself for that matter. But there you go. That's from yourather.com, which is an amazing website. Make sure you guys go check them out if you're ever having trouble with thinking of any would you rather questions. And speaking of would you rather questions, make sure you leave your would you rather questions down in the comments section below for the next episode. I look forward to it, and I love seeing new faces around here. Make sure you hit that like button if you did enjoy this episode, and don't forget to click the subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, stay dirty. Yeah.